Brew, how much pressure is KD under here?
I'm going to be honest. I've done a 180 on the Suns.
What do you mean?
Like, I think I and most others who picked them don't think they really have much of a chance to win this series now. Chris Paul is out. He's been plus 39 in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. He's been one of their best players at plus minus in this series. So without him, without your floor general, with that offense being your turn, Kevin, your turn, Devin, like
I am Kevin too.
I don't think they can win this series.
But that's
and they don't have the depth. And so I'm gonna be honest. I'm not feeling that much pressure on Kevin Durant now. And I think nuanced people will say they don't have any depth. Their floor general's gone.
Shots. I think equally nuanced people can make this point that seems pretty black and white. Last year, one team was swept in the entire postseason. Kevin Durant's Nets. This year, one team has been swept. Kevin Durant's former Nets, who he left, and one team's on the verge. Kevin Durant's current team. I do think Denver's better. I did pick Denver to win. I am not going to hold it against KD if Denver wins this series. But I do think that it is incumbent upon Durant to put his imprint on at least a game or two of the series.
What difference does it make?
Yikes.
I'm serious.
Here's the difference.
If he loses in 6 or loses in a sweep, does it matter? Shaq was swept 6 times.
Okay, so but the 5 of those 6. Hold on a second, though. 5 of those 6 came in the first 7 years of his career. Early on, he was swept his first year in the playoffs. He then was swept in the finals. He then was swept in the conference finals, then in the conference semifinals, and the conference finals again. That is not getting swept in round 1. That is not getting swept in round 1 with your hand-picked team. Then getting swept in round 2 with your hand-picked traded team.
Has no depth.
But he knew that.
And your point guard is gone.
Okay.
Well, let me just throw this out, because everybody's ripping the Sun. Oh, how could they make that trade? They gave up their depth. Here's what I'll say, though, Nick, and I get that. Where were they going before the trade? Nowhere. They might not even be playing right now if it wasn't for the trade. And next year, at least you'll have Durant and Devin and Ayton to build around, and we'll see what happens.
No, I get that, and I defended the trade when it happened. I was not ever as high on the Suns as Vegas was and a lot of people were, because it felt like they were a 5-man team, and one of those guys is a 37-year-old undersized point guard with a history of injuries. So like that, some injury stuff, it feels like it's just terrible luck. Some injury stuff, it feels like if you didn't play in a contingency, you were negligent. And if Chris Paul is your point guard and you're trying to win a championship at this stage of his career, and the answer is if he misses 2 weeks, we're out, we're screwed, you didn't plan properly.
That's fair.
I also believe the Suns would be dead even if Chris Paul were healthy, because they, against a team with this level of continuity and this level of depth, they have there's a lot of questions the Nuggets can ask that the Suns can't answer. But none of that is to say Durant can't have an awesome game and put some pressure on the Nuggets. I think Durant, one of the best series of his career was a loss. The 7-game war against Milwaukee and Brooklyn in round 2. You said the other day that one of the best series LeBron's ever played was a loss. The conference finals against Orlando in 2010. They lost in 6. But great players cannot always will their team to victory. But they should be able to, at least for a moment, put a doubt in your mind of who's going to win the series or extend it. And
you brought up legacy. That was in the question. I think going forward, like this series, to me, they should lose. They will lose, and I won't look down on Durant for it. But if he continues this, like,
not making the Final Four ever?
Not making the Final Four, not winning another championship, or even being close after you leave Golden State, struggling to handle the basketball at times in the playoffs. Last year against the physical play of the Celtics, he was turnover prone. We've seen him be picked a few times against Denver. Like, he's looking like a great shooter.
No, but we know he's here. So this is why I think I'm pressing for this. I was in person for Game 5 and Game 7 of that Bucks-Nets series, which are two of the greatest games of his career, where Harden was out there, but especially Game 5, Harden was on one leg. Durant had to do everything, and he did it. Durant had to do everything, and he found a way. Now, they ended up losing that Game 7. I would like
why
to
he had
see...
to do it?
Why?
Because there was nobody else there to do it. And the coach and everybody else is saying, you do it.
Right, but my point...
Unless Devin Booker goes and says, you do it, Durant's natural inclination is to say, you do it, and I'll play off you.
But that's what I'm trying... That isn't working. That's what I'm trying to push back against. Durant is better than Devin Booker. He has not been this postseason. He's better than him. And they need to do a role reversal.
That was the case for most of his career in Oklahoma City.
I understand,
and
but
he didn't do it.
We're running out of time. The guy's in his mid-30s now.
He is who he is.
I at my core just love great basketball and love seeing the best players. As much as I wanted the Kings to win that series, and God, I did. There was part of me watching Steph that was like, oh my God, this is just magnificent, watching him in that game. I want to see Durant in the first truly critical playoff game he has at home as a Phoenix Sun, saying, listen, I don't know how this series is going, but I know this. I'm putting us in position to where we have a fighting chance. And it's going through me.
You think it's going to happen?
42 points for Durant.
It'd be great to see. I'd love to see it too. But I think he's going to sit in that corner and have his 27 to 35.
No, he can't.
He'll have points. He'll put up points. But if somebody's going to lead the Suns to victory, guess who it's going to be?
Deandre Ayton.
Devin Booker.
It's not going to be Deandre.
Serious. But Durant going to score. He's going to catch and shoot. He's going to score. He's a great scorer. But I need somebody that wants it.
Yeah.
Take it.
That's the theme of
I'm
the show
going
for
take
Broussard.
it. I'm serious.
AD, take it.
AD, take it. KD, take it.
If your last name starts with a D.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.